Now, welcome to Good Morning Anambra, Friday edition. Yes, thank God it's Friday. How are you? The week is off. I'm supposed to be excited somehow, but I don't know why I'm not. Okay, welcome. My name is Ijama. We'll bring you press review now. After that, we'll move over to our discussion table, bring you sports, bring you news at 10, and a whole lot of packages for you. Will you stay? Of course, I know you will. So do stand by now. Okay, joining me this morning for press review is Ejike Abata, a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Ejike.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
And then Imandi Ezanago, also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Iman.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, welcome, gentlemen. Let's see what we have trending in our website this morning. Okay, let's see. One U2 skills grant. Awka South Council commences disbursement of checks to beneficiaries. SARS and NAB 632 suspected touts in various parts of the state. Anambra State Assembly asked Indian Anambra to embrace public-private community partnership to accelerate development. And then ATMA begins marking of roads in Onitsha. These and many more are the stories making the rounds from our website this morning, www.absradiotvorca.com. Okay, one youth, two skills. I think this phase graduated last week, and just now their seed money is being given to them. Of course, the story said that Awka South has started their own disbursement. Ejike, one youth, two schemes, and there's another program that is coming up, the coding program for Anambra people too, Anambra indigenes. So how do you see this government, what do you call it, idea of getting the youth engaged, one, and then trying to make business very easy in Anambra State?
We've always seen past governments wanting to engage Anambra youths, especially in the areas of entrepreneurship. But the question is, how far have they fared? It's one thing to gather youths and put them through some courses or lessons. At the end of the day, you give them seed money. Do you go back to review and find out how they have fared? These same persons who passed out recently, were they part of the sets that the previous governments have also empowered in the past? Are we going to continue like this? What becomes of these ones who have passed out? Are there plans for them to also train other persons, or do we keep getting resource persons from within and outside the state that will always cost much more money? So it goes beyond bringing them together and giving them seed money. I hope and I pray that there are counselors that will guide them through the process of becoming an entrepreneur. It's not easy being an entrepreneur. They need that guidance so that they don't make mistakes and then throw the money into the wrong ventures. At the end of the day, the aim with which the program was established will be defeated.
Okay, thank you very much. Was it 2 days ago, one video started trending of two boys that were burnt to death at Onitsha. And then subsequently we heard that they are even brothers, okay? And now we are looking at this story, SARS-CoV 632 suspected touts in various parts of the state. Imandi, how do we go about, making sure that this touting stops in Anambra State? These 632 people, what are we going to do with them?
You know, the SASA was inaugurated by the governor to reduce touting in the state. And recently it was as if that the touting in Anambra State increased in number. Their characters were nothing to write home about, the way they harass people on the streets. Now, having been that the SASA has done their job by arresting about over 600 touts across the state within these few weeks of their inauguration, it is a welcome development. And then we ask the government should look for a way to empower them as well. If they can be included in the second batch of the upcoming 1 Youth 2 Skills, or if there are measures that should be created to punish those, because this is in form of, let's say, extortion, because they extort money from Anambra citizens. So if there is a way that they can be punished, on the other hand, if a mobile court would be arranged for all these people instead of awaiting trial and all that, in that correctional services, the 1 Youth 2 Skills can be introduced in there, and when they come out with the short term of their service in the correctional center, they will come out as a changed or developed individual.
Okay, I was actually looking at that because it's not enough to arrest them. And before you know it, because some of these staffs are working for some people, before you know it, they'll start placing calls for their release. And then they get back. And if you just say you pack them and start giving them a skills or whatever, so if you want to get skills from government, you go touting. So there should be a measure of punishment, prosecution, so that it will deter others from engaging in touting and a whole lot of things. Okay, GK, let's move ahead. Public-private community partnership is being advocated for the Anambra to accelerate development.
Yes, we've had individuals and communities who pull resources together to develop their communities, without waiting for the government to come and do that for them. What we should be looking at an increase in the number of persons or communities who do this. There are several of them across the state. Government should also look for a way to draw them close and from time to time encourage them to be able to put in more. It's not that easy for somebody to dip hand into his pocket and bring out funds to do something that is expectedly a government priority, but they do it on their own, knowing fully well that they themselves and members of their community or family make use of that and such facilities. It could be roads, health facilities or whatnot. So there should be increase, and government should also encourage them so that other communities and individuals will take a cue.
Very important. Okay, for want of time, let's move on now to the pages of the newspaper, the front pages of the newspaper anyway. So Daily Sun is our first paper this morning. Controversy over 5 billion naira presidential yacht with some riders there. Breast bow to pressure, Dom's proposal. I never asked for it. And this is coming from Tinubu. And down here, we'll have other stories. The JTF impounds vessel laden with 300,000 liters of illegally refined diesels in rivers. Governor Oti wins as Supreme Court rejects Ahiwe, PDP's prayer. Navy pledges safer Nigeria, extends hand of fellowship to press. Ajero politicizing labor activities in Imo. This is coming from Uzodema. It says, I am updates with salaries payment. PDP backdoor tactics to win election won't work this time in Bayelsa, says Sylvia. And then President may sign 2.176 trillion 2023 supplementary budget today, says Abbas. All these are many more the stories you'll find from the front page of the Daily Sun. Okay, Daily Times is our next paper. Irate parents storm Delta school, draw gun on teachers. I can't believe this. Is it just a little fight? Okay, fear, confusion, grips staff, students. Please react. That's a serious one. What's going on? They can bring their children down to Anambra State for a free education now instead of drawing guns on teachers. Okay, tension over presidential yash amid hardship in the land. Who cares what you're suffering, what you're going through? Wike approves funds for maintenance of National Mosque and Christian Center. He's not going to put them down again. He's now maintaining them. Okay. Next paper, the Punch newspaper, arrest, reallocate 5 billion naira Iyash votes. Navy clears Tinubu. Okay, let's hear what happened. Navy, not Tinubu, requested Iyash for operations. Nobody signed it. How can Navy request and then Tinubu will sign or presidency will sign? Okay, this is coming from presidency anyway. The naval spokesman said this. Senate okay 17.5 billion naira Iyash air fleet. Reps approve 546 billion naira defense budget. Hey, Yaba overpass. Others will stop train vehicular crashes. This is coming from Samuel, the governor. Okay, the next paper is Vanguard. Before we'll start talking, electricity policy flip-flop threatens $155 million smart meter projects with a lot of riders there. Bid requires high turnover and cash flow, orders in dollars. Indigenous manufacturers kick petition federal government, and then interministerial committee swings into action. Reports post-installed capacity at 4.5 M, TCN, PMU reopens controversial bid, experts call for cancellation, engagement, a whole lot of them. You pick the paper and then find out exactly what's going on. But for now, educate, let's start talking. You saw what we read from the the Sun newspaper about a controversy over 5 billion naira presidential yash. Educate, Navy is now saying that there were people that requested and not the presidency. I don't really understand what's going on. So how do we relate these two stories?
The Navy said they requested for naval operational boats. But the reports we heard and got is that it's a yacht for the president. And of course, I think it's just a test balloon from the presidency, in my own view, in my opinion. Okay, let's put in this request and see what comes out of it. if they don't say anything like they always do, then we'll buy it. If not, then we'll shift it to the Navy. I think that was what happened. Because it's bizarre for them to be making such demands at this time. 5 billion naira. Yeah. What would even the Navy, even if it were coming from the Navy, what is the pressing need for that, be it a yacht or a boat at this point in time? How? What is the need for them demanding for it at this time, when Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school pupils, maternal and child mortality death is on the increase and all whatnot, and we are looking spending money on frivolities. It's absurd. For one, I wonder what might have prompted the House of Rep to withdraw or turn down the proposal, and instead moved the funds to the student loan, which is even yet to kick off. The student loan has been moved from 5.5 billion to 10 billion naira now. They moved the money they were supposed to allocate for the purchase of that yacht to student loan. Let's see how it goes. It shouldn't come as a surprise to Nigerians, except for those who just flew into the country. These are the things that we see. After all, how many billion naira was allocated for the wife of the president to buy fleet of cars? How many billion was allocated for the National Assembly to buy jeeps, which they've come to defend themselves that the Nigerian roads are bad, so they need these SUVs to move around. Instead of fixing the roads, they are using Nigerians' money to buy cars for themselves, which after 4 years, they will dump and buy another set. That is the fate of Nigerians.
You sure it's going to get up to 4 years? Okay, let's see. Did he say the president's wife? Do we have the first lady's office in a constitution?
Whether you have it or not, they earmarked billions for her to buy cars for her office. So it's not a new thing.
So we just live anyhow we like now, whether we have it or not. Is that what you said?
Welcome to Nigeria.
Okay, of course you said it's apart from some people who have just stepped in. Okay, let's keep rolling. Yeah, Iman, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, including that of the vice president too. Funds were also allocated to him to get his own fleets of cars, and also funds were also allocated to renovate the.
No, vice president should have fleet of cars. Are you saying vice president's wives?
No, not the wife.
Okay.
Him himself.
I said
and
wives.
Also funds were also allocated for the renovations of the Aso Villa, and also the house at Lagos as well. We are also allocated, and these are big funds that when you hear this amount of money, you'll be wondering, is this amount only for renovation, or are they starting a new project? So the funds that they are trying to put are also part of the money that they want to bring into the supplementary 2023 supplementary budget. We are not even talking about the main 2024 budget. So you see that
supplementary budget are just a few weeks to go. Few weeks to go. You are putting this for supplementary. So what are you going to put on for the main budget that is coming up?
That is, let's wait and hear what they will present in few weeks concerning the 2024 budget.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's move on. Let me see if we can get reasonable topics from other papers. The Nation newspaper is our next bus stop. Okay, is it Nation? Independent, please. Sorry, Independent. Okay, sure, I can take Nation and then take Independent. No problems. Okay, so, okay, Independence is up for review now. Kudos, 12 reps scraping of controversial 5 billion naira presidential yacht. Keep playing if we are children. This money has been slated for consumption, so they will push it somewhere and still consume it. Okay, with some riders, is it sensitive to propose purchase of yacht? Okay, I think you have tackled that story. Let's see if we can see other stories. PDP raises the alarm over imposition of APC leaders as REC members. Okay, PDP raises alarm over imposition of APC leaders as REC members. I think we saw that one yesterday as they were endorsed. Okay, INEC justifies 18 billion naira supplementary budget. Senate okays 2. You guys should stop calling this money. Appeal Court affirms Ndume Lawan as elected senators, okay? And then we have the sufficient stock of currency notes. CBN is saying this. Currency note that does not want anything again. Reps to declare emergency on malaria. Okay, all these are the stories coming from this, the Daily Independent. Nation newspaper is our next paper. Rivers crisis, why we are with Tinubu by PDP governments. Why we are with Tinubu, this is coming from PDP, and there is a situation capable of breaking down security. I will protect party structure, Wike insists. Okay, and then Guardian newspaper, unavailable football clubs drain states billions of naira yearly. Unviable football clubs, please. Okay. And then down here, I have this other story. Importers opt for trucks as multiple charges hobble NRS's cargo or haulage targets. When it was supposed, it's supposed to be cheaper than the other means of transportation. I don't really understand. Nothing works here. Okay, manufacturers groom as diesel prices hit 1.3, 1 naira. I don't know how to call this one. 103 liters. Okay, this is coming from Daily Trust. Okay, 1,300 naira per liter. Okay, it's hitting us hard. Truckers are saying this, and then inflation may get worse. Factories may shut down. Experts are saying this. Okay, reps reject 5 billion naira. We have seen that story. Let's just finish reading all the stories, and then you pick any one of interest and talk about. Court orders on conditional release of MFLA from EFCC detention. Okay. And then from Tribune, we are seeing this from Tribune, 2023 supplementary budget, reps transfer 5 billion naira for Yash. We've seen that story. Any other story of interest coming from here? Reps moves to recover over 30 billion naira revenue from merger of multinational oil firm. And then what other story of interest? None. Yeah, Imandi, which one would you like to talk about, please?
Let me start with Daily Trust. Manufacturers grown as diesel price hits 1,300 per liter. It's so unfortunate that we keep discussing the high rate of diesel and high rate of fuel in an oil-producing country. And you know that most of these manufacturers, they make use of this diesel because we have poor power supply in some parts of the country. Now, the alternative to provide power for them to manufacture their products, it's by making use of the diesel. Now, making it 1,300 per liter, it will affect down to the final consumer. Now, coming to the truck driver that will have to convey the products from one place to another, they will still have to buy diesel for their trucks. And buying diesel for their trucks, they will still have to add some money in the cost of the transportation before it will get to maybe the wholesaler or the retailer. And when the retailer checks the expenditure, starting from the manufacturer where he or she gets the goods down, you find out that the people at the end of the day, they just let me use the word renovate, just revive one refinery in this country. We already have existing refineries. We already have refineries. We are not even starting. We are not going for a fresh new refinery. We already have existing refineries, but they are not functioning. With this money, we can use it and make at least one or two, let us say two. One at the south.
Do they really want the refineries to work? That's the question. Because they told you that even when the refineries become functional, that you will still be buying all these petroleum products the same market, the same price that is sold in the international market, international market price. So what is the essence of reviving it? Since for now, they are making a hell of money that they sell crude oil, of course. Do they even still have crude oil? I think they say they have sold everything in advance. I beg, today is Friday.
They keep telling us so that we will believe what they are saying. so that they will continue to patronize themselves. That is why they keep telling us.
That is because it's just a personal deal that this will make more money, pushing this thing out,
Yes.
refine it out there,
Yes.
and then import it again to sell it here. So why do the refineries? Let's go to Rivers State.
Let me talk about the issue.
Okay, briefly, because our time is fast.
We can't get things for, one of the reports says inflation may increase. Inflation will increase, not may. It will increase. And we keep expecting miracles as regards our economy when we don't produce and export anything in Nigeria. It cannot work. Even the crude oil, we cannot work. We are not, whoever is expecting a miracle to happen without Nigeria producing and exporting, it will not work. Let's just take our mind off it. That being said, whatever is happening in Rivers State, we are still waiting for. Wike is very, very crafty. He has not made a definite statement as to what has been happening in Rivers State, except for the fact that in one of the newspapers he said he's contented with his position as an FCT minister in Abuja. But you recall during the campaigns, he said he bought forms for every person vying for one position or the other in Rivers State. Be you senator, candidate, House of Rep, even House of Assembly, even the governors, he said he paid for all the forms for all of them. So you can imagine how much he spent.
For his pocket?
From whether from his pocket or from the state coffers. But you can the aim is already known. Whoever becomes the governor or whoever becomes the senator or House of Rep will surely pay obeisance to him, and that is what is playing out in Rivers State today. You don't buy or purchase forms for persons, and then you recline yourself and allow them to run the state or the office the way they want. Wike still wants to be the Lord in Rivers State, and it's unfortunate that cannot happen. We have a sitting governor in Rivers State, and the man should be allowed to do his work. Wike has spent 8 years. Whatever he failed to do within that 8 years, he should allow another person to continue from where he stopped and mind his business in Abuja instead of throwing the state in chaos. Godfatherism is gradually fizzling out in Nigerian politics, and it's unfortunate that a man like Wike is trying to revive it. You can't, whether you handpicked Fubara or the people voted for him, allow him to do his work. You've done yours. You spent 8 years. You were a former minister. You came in as a governor, and now today you are going back to being a minister. You should be contented, for God's sake. What is it that Wike is looking for in Rivers State? If the likes of Odele and other past governors use them the same high-handedness that Wike is using in Rivers State, if there would be no Rivers State today, they would have burnt down the whole structures and facilities they have in the state. So Wike should allow Fubara to run as the governor of Rivers State.
Okay. Thank you very much. Court orders unconditional release of Emefiele from EFCC detention. And just like he came out from DSS, EFCC grabbed him. If EFCC releases him, who is going to grab him next? Imandi.
As the court has given, no, I don't think there will be any further arrest after
really?
the month, because they have to obey
in
the
Nigeria or
court
Niger?
order. In Nigeria,
Maybe ICPC will come with their own.
In Nigeria, most of these arrests that we keep hearing, at the end of the day, we don't hear anything about the prosecution. So most people, they come for the arrest just to have their own share of the embezzled funds. That is it. In the aspect of the EFCC, we've never seen or heard a big politician being arrested and prosecuted and a judgment being passed and said this person goes for, let's say, 5 years imprisonment for embezzling public funds or for doing one thing or the other. At the end of the day, find out that the matter dies a natural death. It's being swept under the carpet. So anybody that is coming for arrest is only coming to have any parastatals are coming for the arrest are coming to have their own share of the embezzled public fund. So at the end of the day, the court will also give their own verdict to allow the person to move freely around the streets of the country.
Okay. You might want to comment there.
Let me also point out that CBN governor saying there's enough cash is in relation to, because most of us may have forgotten that the deadline for spending of old naira ends in December, and some persons are becoming skeptical. Some persons are beginning to withhold the new naira notes. That's why the CBN is saying there's enough cash to spend. We don't know what. We just wake up and we hear one story. We don't know what, if the deadline will be extended, if there's still any need for the old naira to be phased out. As it stands now, I don't know if there's any need for the old naira to be phased out. But that's the reason why the CBN governor is saying there's enough naira, enough cash. So people should not panic. And also the story in Delta State, where it was said that a parent put a gun at teachers in a school. Let's also remember that it's in the same Delta State, and about 2 weeks ago, that a parent flogged a teacher to death. So both government and police need to beam their searchlight on that state. Things are beginning to happen in Delta State. You can imagine a parent coming in to flog a teacher to death in a school. So what message are you passing to students in that school? Even the teachers, so their lives are now at risk. A teacher has been flogged to death, and now somebody is threatening teachers with guns. It will reduce the productivity of some teachers if not in other schools, at least in that school. At the moment.
The condition of things in Nigeria is getting people, think. People are going crazy. How can you go to school with gun?
It's pathetic.
To threaten the teachers. You see, you don't really understand what people are going through, because some of these things, they're just beginning. That's the way I look at it. Because if nothing happens and nothing changes from what we are experiencing now, this might be a child's play to what will play out in future. So the thing is for government to know what to do to reduce this pressure, to reduce this tension, to reduce this depression on people. People are ready to just, is it not if I kill you, they kill me? So this one I'm living, is it life? Let me kukuma die and go. That is the level we are getting to now. But before we go, let's look at beam a satellite to Imo State and find out what's going on about what happened to Ajero, the NLC chairman, and then the reaction of the workforce, and what Imo State and the police are saying about the whole thing.
Well, firstly, Hope Uzodimma has said he has no hand in the arrest of Joe Ajero.
Do you believe him?
And he has also said that Joe Ajero is meddling in the politics of Imo State, which he said Joe Ajero is a national figure who doesn't know. He said the NSC president doesn't know he's a national figure meddling in local politics. Whatever be the case, I do not think whether it's Hope Uzodimma or any other person, whoever called for his arrest, I do not think made the right decision.
Was he simply arrested or manhandled?
Whether arrested or manhandled, but another aspect to that story is typical of every big man in quotes in Nigeria. The moment they are arrested, they always need medical attention abroad. One of the stories also said that Joe Ajero now needs medical attention abroad.
Yes.
His own arrest is not even up to 48 hours or even 72 hours, but he's needing medical attention abroad already. It's typical of every big man who is arrested in Nigeria. But whatever be the case, that act of arresting Ajero will play off. It will rub off on the performance of or the outcome of the election in Rivers State come November, in Imo State, I beg your pardon, come November 11, because it will take away the minds of the people from the APC in the states, and it might even lead to voter apathy even if they don't give the vote to other candidates, but it might lead to voter apathy. So the earlier they resolve these things, which as far as I'm concerned, they don't have much time again. November 11 is already here. So whatever plays out, let's see how it goes, but they should shun violence there.
Okay, thank you very much, Ejike Abata. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for coming. And then Imandi Ezenago, thank you very much for joining us too.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, that's why we're drawing the curtain on newspaper, press review this week's edition, because the fresh package will come to you next week, Monday. But for now, that is how we are closing for the week. My name is Ijama. Do join us at the other side of the pond for us to look at the topic of discussion today. Thank you.